Well, Colby, welcome to Vegas. It's a title shot you've been waiting for a long time against Leon Edwards. How are you feeling this fight week and ahead of this fight?
I feel amazing, man. It's great to be back on U.S. soil and get to defend my country and defend the honor of all our, citizens here in America. So, it feels great. It could have been in UK, but he said all-time fuck you to all the UK fans and said, no, I don't want to defend this title in the UK. I'd rather come to U.S. soil. So history repeats itself. It's just going to be another 1776, and that means British don't come to America. You come to America, you're going home empty-handed, Junior.
I mean, the fact you said he didn't want to fight in the UK, do you feel like you're not only fighting for the US, but for the UK as well, you're UK fans?
Yeah. I feel like I need to go defend this title in the UK because they get robbed of a pay-per-view main event title fight. So I feel bad for the fans of the UK. They deserve better than what Leon's done to them. But that's why they were all screaming for Colby when Leon was fighting over there. They didn't even care about him because he has no redeeming qualities. I mean, the guy's a complete joke. He's low IQ. I'd love for the media to go ask him, what is his level of education? Did he even get through grade school?
I haven't asked him that yet. Skill set wise, when you look at your skills against his, do you believe this is the traditional grappler versus striker matchup, or do you think you can match up with him on the feet as well?
No, I can beat him everywhere for sure. I love that everybody says that this is a striker versus grappler match. You can watch all the tape you watch on me, but I'm not the same fighter I was last time I stepped in the octagon. So Saturday night, you're going to see a completely different version of myself, and I'm going to outclass Leon. I'm going to bring out the dog in me. I'm going to bring out the quitter in Leon.
You've been, through no fault of your own, kept out of the cage, right? They've been trying to match you up with some guys. That hasn't happened, and I know that that's frustrated you. Should you win the title this weekend, do you plan on being a fighting champion, an active champion?
Yeah, I plan on being everything Leon isn't. And, I'm going to be someone that's a champion for the fans, that respects the fans, that make this sport go round. So, he doesn't care about the fans. He doesn't care about this company. I care about this company. This company changed my life. I love the UFC. God bless Ari. God bless Dana White, Hunter Campbell. Those guys have completely made a broke blue-collar kid from Oregon, a multi-million-dollar freaking figure. So, I'm so thankful for this company. I want to be an active champion. Leon, he's turned down so many fights people don't even talk about. I'm the one that had to save the day and be the apex predator and beat Woodley because he turned down when he had the sniffles. He had the sniffles and he turned down Woodley. And then he had a title fight with Usman in Abu Dhabi. He said, no, the sniffles again. Oh, no, I want a title fight. They offer him a title fight. Oh, not that title fight. So what does that guy deserve now? He doesn't want to fight. He just wants to sit on that placeholder belt that he has right now. So it's okay. That's why Daddy Covington's here to save the day for the UFC and all the fans out there.
Weighing in as backup is Bilal Muhammad. That would seem to suggest the UFC want him to be the number one contender. Is that someone you're interested in fighting?
No, who wants to fight a racist? I mean, could you imagine if I said someone earned something off the color of their skin? That's absolutely despicable. It's disgusting. That guy hasn't deserved anything. I mean, it's not my fault that he's not a star. You have to make yourself a star. I'm the one that went out there and did the things that needed to be done to become a superstar like I have. What has he done? He hasn't done anything. He's out there race baiting saying, oh, he only earned this because the color of his skin is white privilege. Are you fucking kidding me? Dude, he's not getting no title shot. There will be no title shot for him.
Last one from me. I don't know if I've heard as much anticipation for a press conference as I have this week. You've got names like Ian Gary, Paddy Pimblett, Tony Ferguson up there. Are you going to have lines for all of them, or are you just going to sit there and let them come to you?
I'm chaos. I'm unpredictable. No one knows what I'm going to do next, but I can tell you one thing that, you play with the bull, you're going to get the horns.
Colby, right here. You've obviously fought some pretty high-level former champions like Tyron, Kamaru, RDA, Robbie Lawler. So I'm curious, where does Leon rank compared to all these former champions that you faced?
He's at the bottom of the end of where the guys that I fought. I've fought in first ballot Hall of Famers, and this guy's had a pretty easy path. Everybody likes to talk about my path to get here. Let's talk about his path. Who'd he beat? RDA a couple years after I washed him up. Who'd he beat? 40-year-old Cerrone, 40-year-old Nate Diaz, Ricky Waters. Where does his impressive resume come from? Where's his young contenders on his resume? He doesn't have it. It never happened. So, he's nothing impressive. Saturday night, I'm going to expose him for what he is, and that's nothing more than a coward and a low IQ idiot.
So if he wasn't the champion right now, would a fight with Leon even interest you at this point? Like if they offered you like a number one contender fight against Leon?
The fights that offer me is the biggest and best fights the UFC come. This is a publicly traded multi-billion-dollar company. Could you imagine if I just fought some prelim fighter? We'd be defrauding investors. The UFC would get sued. I love this company. This company changed my life. I want to do good and the best business for this company, and this is a business. It's about making money. So, I want to do whatever the direction the UFC wants to go. I want the biggest and best fights. That's who I want. So if he's at the top of the totem pole at that time, then sure, yeah, I'd love to do it. I've wanted to fight him for years, but here we are, undisputed, baby. And Colby Chaos Covington, there's nothing more than Colby Chaos Covington wants than to be undisputed champion, and that's exactly what Colby Chaos Covington is going to do on Saturday night.
And he's been pretty vocal saying that he doesn't see you fighting guys like Shavkat or Bilal's or any of these young guys coming up. And I've also seen interviews where you say you would want to be an active champion if you win the belt. So I'm curious, if you do win the belt, what would you want your title reign to look like? Would you just keep fighting these number one contenders, or would you look for these big super fights in other divisions?
Of course, I'm in my prime physically and mentally. Now I'm in a place where I've never been before, and I feel really secure in myself. I feel like I've really well-rounded out my skills, in this time off and gotten better. Why these guys are turning me down, there's a reason I'm in this position because, I say yes, yes, yes to every single fight. I've never said no. There's no other guy in the history of the sport that said more yeses to a fight than Colby Chaos Covington. So, Colby's a yes man. He loves his company. He'll say yes to any fight. I just want to make the biggest and best fights for the fans and for the company, and that's exactly what I'll do when I'm champion.
Leon also said that when we asked him, the UFC probably wants you to win this fight. So I'm curious, do you feel that way, that the UFC wants you as champion?
The UFC doesn't really have favorites. They don't care who the champions are going to be. They put the two best guys that are deserving of the shots, and they let them fight it out for us. So that's what's going to happen on Saturday night. Leon can keep making these excuses, keep saying this stupid stuff that no one believes. I mean, Saturday night it will determine who's the best fighter in the world, and there's no one more deserving of this title than me.
Last one for me. There are rumors that maybe Donald Trump might put the belt around you if you do win. Is there any truth to that?
There is truth to that. Donald Trump will be in attendance Saturday night, and he's going to wrap that belt around me. I love Dana White, but I've just asked Dana if he could let Donald put it around me. So, it's going to be a spectacle. No, it doesn't matter who they put in there Saturday night. They could put the Hulk in there Saturday night. No one's beating me in front of Donald Trump. We're going to make America great again. We're going to make the UFC welterweight division great again because Leon's made an absolute joke of it.
And Colby, to your right over here. For so long, really the only thing between you and the title was Kamaru. And since you guys parted, he's been on a skid. He's lost 3 in a row. Just kind of curious what you make of that. And do you feel like if you go out there, you win on Saturday, there's still maybe some unfinished business that he'll come back down to 170 and you guys will fight again?
When I fought Usman, he was in his absolute prime, number 1 pound for pound. So you guys want to talk about my resume and who I fought. I fought the number 1 pound for pound fighter multiple times. And in my opinion, I beat him. I beat him 7 out of 10 rounds. You go back to my fight in Madison Square Garden, go rewatch that fight. Every single fan in that arena told me, hey, you won rounds 3, 4, and 5. It was clear as day. He won 1 round, the second round. The first round was a toss-up. So I do feel like I beat him, in that fight, and I feel like I'm a better fighter than him. So, I would love to see that trilogy. That's another fight that plays out. So all these other contenders can wait because that's bigger business, that me and Usman have to settle. It's unfinished business.
Thanks.
Hey, Colby. With you not willing to give Bilal a title shot, there is some welterweights on the card with you. Would you give a title shot to the winner of Shavkat versus Wonderboy, maybe Ian Gary? Any of those guys interest you?
Who said I'm not willing? I'm willing to do whatever the UFC wants to do, and I don't make the calls around here. Last time I checked, Leon tried to call the shots and say, oh, Colby's not fighting for the title. No chance. No way Colby's fighting for the title. Where are we here today? We found out who called the shots. None of us fighters call the shots. It's up to the company. It's up to Hunter Campbell, Dana White, Ari Emanuel. These are the guys that call the shots. So whatever they decide is the biggest and best business for this multi-billion-dollar publicly traded company, then that's what we'll do next.
Was there a reason why Dana did not let you walk out with Trump this Saturday?
Yeah, there was a reason. He called me about that, and I asked Donald Trump if he could walk me out. I saw him at Mar-a-Lago before I left, and I got this suit signed by him, and he said he would walk me out. And then we called the UFC and Dana, and he said logistically, Colby, it would just be too tough. He has almost 100 Secret Service that come with them, and it would be too much mayhem to get you to the cage and get him there at the same time. So unfortunately, Donald Donald Trump won't be able to walk out with me, but, he'll be cage side, and I'll give him a hug before I enter that octagon, and, I'll see him cage side, and, he'll be putting that belt around my waist Saturday night.
Speaking of Kamaru Usman, what do you think of his fight against Khamzat Chimaev?
I thought he beat him. I thought he beat Cumshot. He was striking him. I thought he dropped him. Cumshot was scared to strike with him. He didn't even hit him once. Look at the significant strikes that were landed. So, if that was a 5-round fight, Usman would have destroyed him. He would have finished him in those championship rounds. So I thought he looked good. He took it on 4 or 5 days' notice. At 185. So up a weight class. He never fought in that weight class. So, I thought he beat him, and I think a lot of the fans thought that as well.
And finally, for me. Earlier this week, you called Sean Strickland an excuse of a human being. What's up with that?
Dude, can you not all relate? I mean, the guy said that women only belong in the kitchen. If you told that to my friend Candace Owens, she would literally run circles around him and make him look like the amateur jabroni that he is. I mean, the guy's the easiest fight in the division. I mean, there's a reason that he ran away from my division, because he couldn't cut it. So, I'm just speaking facts and what everybody believes and thinks as well.
Colby, down here to your left. You said that Leon is a quitter. Is that just a summation that you made from what you saw in his fight with Kamaru Usman, or was that something that you saw in him beforehand?
Yeah, it was the first fight with Usman where I saw that he has that quitter in him. So, I'm going to bring him to that dark place, and, I'm going to bring out the dog in me and the quitter in him. So I know he has a deep down side. Even in the second fight, he had it too, and his coach had to wake him up. Leon, oh, come on, you're quitting. Don't give up. So, he's a mumbling idiot, and Saturday night I'm going to bring that quitter back out of him.
And obviously, this is your third opportunity of getting the undisputed title. Would it be a lot sweeter for you getting it this time around than first time, considering you've picked yourself up the metaphorical canvas twice to do it?
Absolutely. It's the same path and journey that Donald Trump's had to go on. We've been cheated out of, titles, out of, his presidency, out of my last undisputed title in Madison Square Garden. But there's one thing about me and Donald Trump, and that's when we face adversity, we can be delayed, but we will not be denied.
And final one for me, if there's one thing that impresses you about Leon, what is it?
The guy has no redeeming qualities. He's not likable. I mean, literally, the guy's made a joke of our division. He wants to sit and not fight anybody. He just wants to sit on the reign forever as the placeholder. So there's literally nothing I can say good about Leon. This fight's personal. He has what I want, and that's the undisputed title. And there's nothing more that Colby Covington wants than that undisputed title. So Colby Covington gets what he wants.
Colby, right here. Over here. Just wanted to get your thoughts. Right here, brother. Just wanted to get your thoughts on the Nelk boys and your relationship. I know you just signed with Team Happy Dad. We've seen you working out with Kyle in Miami. What's your relationship with those guys like right now?
Yeah, I got a great relationship with the Happy Dad team and the Nelk boys. Big shout out to Kyle Forgard. He did a lot of training with me this camp, and that guy has the dog in him. So it was great to train with a guy that has the dog in him. He was able to push me to a level that I didn't think I could be pushed to. So we got some great strength and conditioning training in together, and I feel like that's going to make a difference on Saturday night.
Colby right behind him. The UFC recently went to Miami again for the first time in a long time, and looks like they're heading back soon. Now that Miami is back on the travel schedule, is that one of your bucket list items before you call it a career?
Absolutely. Everybody knows I'm the king of Miami. I run those streets. I train in the heart of Miami, in Hialeah, Miami. So, no one's more Miami than me. I've been there for 15 years now. So, I love representing the 305. I put them on my back every time I go into fight. Everybody knows I love my South Beach Mamacitas. They're the ones that give me the best cardio for my fights, the bedroom cardio. That's why I'm the cardio king. So, yeah, I would love to fight and headline in Miami. I mean, who knows? Maybe I'll come and show up and fight in March. I think that's a good turnaround time. So, hopefully they'll let me headline that March Miami show. Or if not, maybe we can come back in the summer or before year's end.
I asked Dana earlier in one of the contender conferences about potentially having UFC 305 out in Miami. Is that something you'd like to do?
Oh, man, that would be so incredible. I love the sound of that. I think that's a great storyline, and no better way than Miami's son, Colby Covington. So I'd love to do that. That'd be a dream come true, and it'd bring the best out of me, fighting him in my backyard and getting to sleep in my own bed. It'd be so amazing. I wouldn't turn down a home date like Leon would.
And last one for me, obviously, you and Kamaru Usman have had one of the most historic and heated rivalries in the UFC, but he's showing you a lot of respect going into this fight week. I mean, what do you make of all that respect he's been giving you?
Yeah, it was definitely surprising. It caught me off guard. I really don't know what to make of it. I haven't really processed it fully, but I can tell you one thing is that he spent 10 rounds in that octagon with me, and he knows what I'm capable of. He knows the dog that's inside of me. So, he's only speaking truth and facts, and shout out to Marty.
Thank you.
Colby, hey, I'm here. Shavkat Rakhmonov said that he will bring the belt to Kazakhstan next year. Will you be ready to face him if you become a new champion?
Whoever the UFC deems necessary, that's who I want to fight. If it's Shit Rat, if it's Islam, if it's fucking Sean Strickland. The one thing's for sure, I'm going to make welterweight division great again. I'm here to stay, and if these guys want to fight me, they're going to have to come to my division. So, like I said before, it's a publicly traded company, multi-billion-dollar company. I love this company so much, changed my life. So I want to do the biggest and best business for the company. So whatever Hunter, Dana, and Ari decide, I'm up for it, dude. I never said no to a fight. I've said yes to every single fight in my career. Never pulled out of one fight either.
Will you be ready to fight more often if you become a champion?
Of course. I've wanted to be more often and more active. This is because other people have been turning down fights. Khamzat Chimaev ran away from me. He was scared of my shadow. So, of course, he had to go up to an easy weight division. Everybody knows 170 is the premier division. It's the toughest division in the UFC. So, this is what most people on this earth walk around at, about 170 pounds. So, of course, Khamzat was scared to fight, and then there were some other people that were scared to fight, and, now we're here. All I can do is fight who they put in front of me. I can't go out there and fight some prelim guy because then they defraud the investors and they're going to get sued. So, anytime, anywhere, anyone. That's Colby Chaos Covington's moniker.
Right here, Colby. Leon said ahead of this fight that he just doesn't want to fight you or wait, he wants to retire you. What's your response to that?
Wow, it's the first time he opened his mouth this whole time. He was scared to fight me. He got forced to fight me, so he didn't want to fight me. He knows deep down inside what's going to happen on Saturday night and what Colby's coming after him. So what I have to say to that is he's definitely not going to retire me. I just signed a new contract with the UFC. I'm going to be a lifetime fighter, and I'm not going anywhere anytime soon. I'm physically and mentally in my prime, and the best is yet to come from Colby Chaos Covington.
You said you want to make the welterweight division great again. Is there any thoughts about going up and making the middleweight division great once again?
How can I make, I could probably make them both great at the same time, but, my focus is on welterweight. I want to make this division great again. I want to solidify myself as an all-time great and the greatest welterweight of all time, so I have a lot of work to do in welterweight, and luckily I'm young and 35 years young and in my prime and mentally and physically, so, I got a lot of work to do, and I want to clear out this division first before I go out to middleweight. So anybody who wants to fight, super fight or not, you're going to have to come to welterweight.
Last one from me. You paraded the suit that you're wearing there before you came on with us. What's the backstory to it?
Yeah, so the backstory is, it's a Make America Great Again suit. I got Donald Trump to sign it, so this suit is worth a pretty penny now. And then I got Trump's mugshot, his unlawful, indictment. What a joke, I can't believe they're using the justice system against us. Do you guys realize how corrupt this system is right now? Like they're weaponizing the judicial system, the DOJ. It's political persecution. They're scared of him. They know he's the greatest threat to the he's the greatest threat to the swamp. And, he stands for democracy, and they don't like that. There's a bunch of communist people running this country right now, and we need to get them out. Our borders are wide open. Inflation is higher than it's ever been. Our streets are burning, and we're sending money to Ukraine? For what? What about America? What happened to America first? That's what Donald Trump stands for, is America first. So right now it's America last. We need to make America great again. 2024 is our last stand. If Donald Trump doesn't get back in office, this country is done.
Colby over here. Colby, I am curious, what did Donald Trump say when he saw his mugshot on your jacket?
He loved it. He was like, man, that's creative. I love it. That's amazing. Then he gave me some advice on the fight, and then he just said, hey, man, I'm going to be in the arena Saturday night. Don't feel the pressure. Right? When I come, it creates a lot of pressure. He's the most famous person on planet Earth. There's no one more famous than Donald Trump. So he just said to just relax, be calm, and do what I do best. Win championships, fight, and have fun. And, we'll hang out and enjoy Mar-a-Lago afterwards.
Going back to one of the previous questions, being a double champion is one of those things that seems to be very popular these days. Can I ask, what is it about welterweight? Do you just feel you perform best there? Because I'd imagine you go on a long win streak, that temptation has to be big.
Yeah, it's always, big to try and make more history. I've created some of the best and most iconic moments in the history of the sport. First fighter to ever go to the White House, first fighter to hang out with a sitting president, first fighter to get a first family to a fight, strikes records, all these records, champion after champion beaten, first ballot Hall of Famer after first ballot Hall of Famer. But I want to keep doing things that people haven't done before. So, I want to go for that triple championship. And I think I could do it. I think I can make 55 and I think I can go up to 85. And that's the easiest fight if Sean Strickland's still there. So I may look to go, beat Sean first and then go down to 55 and beat that Mongoloid. But, I have unfinished business at 170. And the only way to make this division great again is to be active and to clear out the division first. So until I do that, I'm not going to entertain anybody else.
Thank you.
If you hate America so much and you don't like this country that gave you $1 billion, leave it or come deal with me. You go to China, go to these sweatshops that you employ all these laborers and use these women and pay them pennies on the dollar to make your millions. Fuck you, LeBron James. You're a coward. You're a spineless coward, and you're a bitch.